One more thing. I know how to build a team around Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving that's going to contend, but I think I have a lot more questions than I thought I would. Welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for hanging out with us. So one more thing, a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. And today I want to talk about how to build a team around Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving. It's going to make it back into the top 6 of the Western Conference. It's going to be a playoff team and all that. I've got a bunch of different players the Mavs need, the player types, how they get those players. So I want to talk about all that stuff and get into that. But before we do that, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. They also have the Winter Olympics. The Winter Games are happening right now. You can go and see all the different kinds of things they have there. That's why following the Winter Games on FanDuel just makes sense. From medal counts to individual events, finding your angle on sports you care about most, FanDuel gives you ways to connect and stay in on the action. Right now, 2026 Olympics, most gold medals, Norway minus 800, the favorites. There, USA plus 460, Germany plus 3,300, Italy plus 6,000, Canada plus 6,500, and China plus 8,000. So you can go check out that. You can do all kinds of other things too. Men's hockey, they have the individual games. They have to win a medal, all that kind of stuff. You can check it out on FanDuel. And Winter Games are on. There's no better way to follow them than with FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, let's get into it. How to build a team around Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving. I got this question on the Discord the other day. You can get the Discord access. Check the link in the description or the QR code for the Everydayers Club or the text line. And ACAT asked this question. He said, in terms of basketball fit, what players on the roster do you think fit with Kyrie and Flagg? And what players would you target in the offseason? Great question, because I think the Mavs this season, I talked about the identity crisis was slightly in the episode after the Suns game, where this Mavs team just can't close. They can't create any offense, and they've got all these issues. And so I started to look around, and I was like, all right, what do the top 6 teams in each conference right now? So the Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, Raptors, Sixers, Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers, Timberwolves. That might change by the end of the year, but just I wanted to look at those teams. Like, what did all those teams have in common? What's a 2026 competent basketball team have around them? And can I take Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving and build that team so that next year the Mavs are back up there, or the year after that the Mavs are back up there in the top 6, competing, actually making the playoffs and making some noise? I think I know what all these teams need. This is what they need. Ready? 2 top players. They've got to be all-star level. Can Cooper Flagg get there? Probably. The way that he's been playing lately, like he's been like the last 20 games or so, he's been playing at an all-star level. Not all these guys are actually all-stars, because you look at like Jokic and Murray. Murray hasn't been an all-star until this year. Look at Kevin Durant and Alfred Şengün. Like Şengün wasn't an all-star until he was named a replacement. You look at like Luka, and if you count Austin Reeves or LeBron, right? Like you count those guys. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Like Randle is not an all-star, but he's an all-star like level type player, right? He's been one before. He has the potential of being one. So you got to have 2 top players. I think the Mavs will have that next season. And Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving returning from his injury. That is a big question mark, though. Kyrie, can he return back to that all-star form? Can he become that type of player again? And so that's the first thing they need, is that they need 2 top players, all-star level players. Then after that, you need 2 to 3 high-level role players. You need guys that are going to fill in a bunch of the gaps on skills that you do not have, basically, with all those other guys. So to complement all these other guys, you look at you look at some of these high-level role players. They have to be able to get you 20 on any random night, because you just have to be able to create enough offense in today's NBA. There's too many teams and too many players that are average, teams are scoring 120 offensive rating like every night, basically. You've got to have those guys. So like the Knicks, it's OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart. The Thunder have like 5 of these guys. The Spurs have Devin Vassell and Castle next to Fox and Wemby. You have Amen Thompson and Jabari Parker. Oh my gosh. Jabari Smith Jr. next to Kevin Durant and Alfred Şengün. I've been looking back in history and I've been thinking about all these past players. It's just in my Denver with Jokic and Murray. You have Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown. Maybe Cam Johnson will get up in there, but you've got to have at least 2 or 3 high level players around these guys. They have to bring an elite skill in some way. Do the Mavericks have any of those players? That's the big question right now. Can the Mavericks actually get those players? I think Max Christie can be that player, but I don't think he is. I don't think he is right now. He's been the last stretch here, but I think he kind of fits in a different category. But I think he could get there. He's still young. He's just turned 23. It was his birthday on Tuesday. I think Dereck Lively can absolutely be there. The problem with Dereck Lively is health. And so that's a big question mark. I think PJ has been there at times in his career, but it's been up and down. It's like you have 3 question marks at your next high-level role players. And I think one of the things that we've watched this season is that like Luka elevated some of those players. PJ, Gafford, Lively. He elevated those players. And if you don't have that guy, then those like high-level role players have to be better on their own merits a little bit. Maybe the offense with Kyrie Irving and Cooper Flagg will be so much better that offensive system will elevate them. Maybe they'll design that system. But I don't know if I trust Jason Kidd to run that kind of offensive system that's going to elevate those players in that way. The other thing I looked at with the 2 star players, and it goes back to this role players thing, is how many of these star players, how many championship teams, let's just take it all the way to the top, not just top 6 teams, but championship teams that won the title. How many of them, like both of their top 2 guys are guards, right? That actually like set people up, that are, you know, have the ball in their hands, create offense, initiate offense, do all that. There's not many. And so if Kyrie Irving is not going to be that guy, when the Mavericks make it back to championship contention, I don't know if Kyrie Irving will still be in his prime at that point. It may take that long. But if that's not Kyrie Irving, then can the Mavs get back there? If it is a Cam Boozer, if it is somebody like that, if the Mavs do acquire that, you know, that type of player in the draft, from like 1999 with Duncan and David Robinson with the Spurs to like 2020 with LeBron and AD, there's only one team where there was not a guard as one of the 2 best players, and it was Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett with the 08 Celtics. But over the last like 5 years, 6 years, there's been 3 teams that have not had a guard as their number 1 player. And like maybe you'll parse this with me and be like, oh, well, LeBron and AD, LeBron was basically the guard of that team. Okay, well then LeBron is a guard in the same way that Cooper Flagg has been. Giannis and Middleton. Well, Giannis handled the ball. Okay, well the Flagg's got to be able to handle the ball. Tatum and Brown are the other one with the Celtics. And you're like, okay, well Tatum and Brown both kind of handle the ball. Yeah, Cooper Flagg's got to be able to handle the ball and got to create for others and got to get people involved and things like that. And so if Kyrie is not going to be that top guy, does one of the top 2 players need to be a guard? Not necessarily. You can build a team in the modern day NBA that doesn't have a guard as one of the top 2 players, which is kind of wild. And historically just has not happened, right? From 1999 to 2020, only one team has had, didn't have a Kobe, a Michael Jordan, a Tony Parker, a Steph Curry, right? Like a Dwayne Wade, where they're a guard and they're creating for others. So you got to have 2 star players. You got to have 3 to 5. Your 3 to 5 spot in your rotation have to be high level role players. The Mavs do not have kind of either of those at the moment. They'll get Kyrie back, but they don't have those high level role players right now. What else do they not have? What else do they do have? We'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs is brought to you by Indeed. Indeed Jobs will help you get the right job for you, and you can also get the right person to do your job. Hiring isn't just about finding somebody willing to take that job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually help out your business moving forward. And if you want candidates to match what you're looking for, Indeed sponsored jobs is the move. You can match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria, skills, certifications, locations. Fire hiring, I wouldn't just want somebody that can come in and help. Like, hey, I'm a good learner, all that. You got to have somebody that has the qualities of somebody that you want in that spot. Here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking with you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. They've done that because they target the right people. They know exactly when they get to it. All right, I don't have to sift through all these resumes and figure it out. And with Indeed-sponsored jobs, your posts get seen by candidates who are actually a fit. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who are checking all your boxes with Indeed-sponsored jobs. Also brought to you by GameTime. GameTime has all kinds of ways that you can go see something awesome. Go see something awesome, like an NBA game, the crowd, the energy, the moment. Getting tickets, though, that's the part that hasn't always been so simple. So that's why GameTime has become the go-to app for scoring tickets fast, without the hassle. It puts the advantage back where it belongs, with the fans. So check it out. I love the all-in pricing. You see exactly what you're going to pay right up front. Like as soon as I'm looking in that little arena, like you see the arena diagram and you're like, all right, well, look here and here's a spot, here's a seat, and then here's the price right above it. That's what you're going to pay, which is awesome. I hate getting surprised at the end. I also love to see the view from my seat. Take the guess regarding buying NBA tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use this code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download GameTime app today, and remember, it's gametime.co, not gametime.com.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's the One More Thing, a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We're talking about how to build a team around Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving to be in the top 6, maybe next year, maybe the season after that. I think the Mavs are well on their way. With Flagg and Kyrie, I think they can get to all-star level. And then your high-level role players, PJ, Max, Lively, maybe you can make up for it with depth of players. Maybe you would include Klay in there. Maybe you would throw some others in there. Can the Mavericks just volume-wise make this happen? Can Naji Marshall be part of that next season? I think you also need to have, right now in the NBA, to be in the top 6, I think you have to have a lead guard. And your lead guard has to be high level. Doesn't have to be one of your top 2 players, but it has to be high level. You think about every single player, or every single team in the top 6 in both conferences, and you're like, it's Cade Cunningham, it's Jalen Brunson, it's Luka Doncic, it's Anthony Edwards, it's SGA, it's Tyrese Maxey. The worst lead guards on the top 6 teams across the NBA right now are who? It's probably Peyton Pritchard, whose high-level lead guard can do a lot of things, comes off the bench for him, but Jaylen Brown has filled in a lot of the lead guard responsibilities for that team, so I don't know if you count him. But it's Peyton Pritchard, it's Amen Thompson. That team has a bunch of offensive problems, and they're not like a contender. Emmanuel Quickley, that team also has a lot of weird problems with the Raptors. Those are the worst. And like Quickley's making $30 million. Pritchard was on a championship team and is like one of the 3 pillars of this Celtics team that's actually made them good this season. Amen Thompson is like an elite defensive guard who's at least giving you something there. But your lead guard has to be at a high level. Can Kyrie Irving reach that level? I think he can reach the level of these guys, the Peyton Pritchard, Amen Thompson, Emmanuel Quickley, like those types of guys. He can reach that level next season. No problem. I think he can absolutely do that. But can he reach the level of a championship level? I'm a lead guard on a championship level team next season coming off of the ACL. That's where I have a big question. And then next year after that, when he's going to be 34, 35, then you have bigger questions. So you've got to have the top 3. You got to have the top, 5 players, like be high level. Your top 2 players have to be all-star level. Got to have a good lead guard somewhere in there. Doesn't have to be one of your top 2, but it has to be a lead guard. You also have to have an elite wing guard defender. Ausar Thompson on the Pistons, OG Anunoby on the Knicks, Derek White on the Celtics. The Raptors have Scotty Barnes and Colin Murray-Boyles. You've got Aaron Gordon on the Nuggets. You have Amen Thompson on the Rockets. You have Jaden McDaniels on the Timberwolves. There's a couple exceptions. Cleveland, they got double rim protection. Like I texted Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs, and I was like, who's the top wing defender right now on the Cavs? And he said Dean Wade. And I was like, all right, well, this kind of disproves my theory. But you got double rim protection. You make up for it. With the Lakers, Marcus Smart, I guess, is your best wing guard defender. They're making up for it with just elite offense. You've got Stephon Castle and Carter Bryant. The Thunder, every single one of them, is their elite wing guard defender. The Sixers is interesting because Paul George was kind of this guy, but then he got suspended, and so I don't know what's going on with them. I texted Locked On Sixers, Mark Farzetta, and I was like, who's the best wing guard defender now with Paul George out? And he said, it's actually Kelly Oubre. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that one. But you've got to have at least a good wing guard defender, or maybe an elite one. Most of the teams have elite wing guard defenders. Can Cooper Flagg carry this load? Can PJ Washington get to that level? Can Naji Marshall? Can Max Christie? I don't know. And if even Flagg gets to that level, I think they kind of need an elite guard defender. Or at least a really good one. Think about all the championship teams or the top teams have had a really good guard defender. Even the Mavericks had Derek Jones Jr. that was doing that. They had Reggie Bullock when they made the Western Conference Finals the last time. Like, you have to have a really good one. And I don't know if the Mavericks have a really good one this season. I thought maybe they would get one in Naji Marshall, Max Christie, even Caleb Martin. I thought maybe could get there. But I don't think they have it. With your center, you need one of 2 archetypes. Because you look at all across the centers and you're like, all right, you either need an extremely skilled max level player, Jokic, Şengün, Wembanyama, Embiid, Cat, Chet. That's a lot of like high level, max level players. You either need that or you've got to have a rim roller, rim protector, workhorse. Jalen Duren, Rudy Gobert, Jarrett Allen, Neemias Queta, Isaiah Hartenstein for the Thunder. Steven Adams for the Rockets, you could throw him in there. Jakob Poeltl for the Raptors, not really a great one, but but that's the type of player he is a rim roller, a workhorse. The big question mark of all the top 6 is DeAndre Ayton for the Lakers. They had a big question. They got big questions in multiple places on these lists. But everybody else, they have a center that does either one of those two things. He's extremely skilled and is kind of one of your top 2 players, or is the rim protector, roller, workhorse. Not many teams have like the stretch 5 is the guy, right? Your stretch 5 has to be like elite player at this point. So trying to find that stretch 5 is not a thing. You got to get that rim protector, roller, workhorse guy. You also need to have, to be a contending team this season, at least 2 volume shooters taking at least 5 threes a game. Every single team has at least 2 players taking 5 threes a game. Right now, Max Christie and Klay Thompson would count for the Mavericks, but I don't think that's enough. I think the Mavs need more. Can Flagg turn into this is one of my big questions for them going forward if they want to be a championship level team. Because every single team has, all the good teams have like 3. And the Thunder are close. Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, SGA is close. Aaron Wiggins is close. But you got to have like 2 to 3 high volume shooters right now. And you got to have like a high level role player shooter, a Duncan Robinson, a Sam Hauser, a Sam Merrill, maybe a Sam, an Isaiah Joe, a Devin Vassell, a Tim Hardaway Jr., a Cam Johnson, a Reed Shepherd, a Dante DiVincenzo. And I think Max Christie can be that guy. I think he can be the high-level role player shooter guy that could be your guard defender that maybe isn't the best, but maybe he can get to that point. And so I came away with this thinking, all right, well, the Mavs need to level up in a bunch of different areas. It's very, very clear to me the Mavs could have everything you need in this list for next season to be a top 6 team. If everybody comes back, the Mavs get, maybe the draft pick is one of those high-level role players. I could talk myself into the Mavericks being back into the top 6 next year with health, obviously, because you're talking about health with both, not just Kyrie, but Lively too. That creates such a foundation for your team. And they check all the boxes on all these things that the teams need because Cooper Flagg has been that good. To be a championship level team, for all these things to be championship level, they're kind of far away. Because PJ Washington has regressed. Lively has been injured. Max Christie is good, but maybe not to that level yet. And will Kyrie Irving be at that level when the Mavs need him? Those are my big questions. So those are the things you need to be a contending team or a championship level team. And I think I still have questions about the Mavericks. Let us know in the comment section what you think about this list. Let us know what you think about the show, I guess. I don't know. Let us know what you think about the Mavericks. I'm sure you have many thoughts. We have the Everydayers Club and the text line in the description. So check that out, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Locked on Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.